lay your pattern piece where it says place on the fold to the folded edge and pin to the fabric. Then cut round the pattern one part of the mask cut, and we need 2 pieces. Fold the other piece of fabric in half, place the arrow where it says place on fold on the fold of the fabric and pin down. Around the pattern, now we have 2 pieces of the mask. Like that. We're going to sew down that seam, and the seam allowance is 0.7 or 1/4 of an inch. Now I'm going to do one on the sewing machine. Now once we've done the seam, I'm going to open it up and with right side together, we're going to pin them together. Along the edge. And just make sure that one of the seam goes to the left and one goes to the right, just so they don't overlap. Then we're going to pin top edge of the mask together, keeping the two edges of fabric level. And we're going to machine along those two lines. Now, if you don't have a sewing machine at home, this is the stitch you need to do. You need to notch your thread, and when you're starting, you've got the knot, you need to go back and do a back stitch, 1, 2, just to make it nice and strong, and then you're doing very small stitches, going back to the stitch. I hope you can see it with the black thread. Naturally you would use the same colour as your fabric. I'm doing it in black so that you can see the stitch. Okay, so all the seams that I'm doing on the sewing machine, you could do them by hand. It would just take you longer, but you can sit in front of one of your favourite programs and do that. So I'm just going to put that aside, and I'm going to machine it on the sewing machine. For those of you that have a sewing machine, I hope you can clearly see what I'm doing. So you're taking 7mm seam, a 1/4 inch seam along the top, making sure that you take your pins out before you get to the machine presser foot. You should never machine over pins. As it puts your machine out of time. There are lots of people that do that, but it's very bad for the machine. So that's the bottom seam done. So we're going to do the top seam. And of course, when you start your seam, you will know that you should do a back tack, which is called a reverse. Make sure it's nice and strong. And when you finish, you reverse so the seam doesn't come undone. Get all your threads. Clean. And then we're going to, so you see you've got your top seam and your bottom seam. We're going to pull it through to the right side. If you're not confident with your sewing, you can get the iron out and you can press those edges before you sew it. So we're just going to sew those two edges together so it will stop the two layers of the mask from moving and rolling. And you can use a pen just to pull out the seam to make sure you are stitching on the edge. Right, that's the top edge all done. And now I'm going to do the bottom edge. So that's the two edges stitched down. See? So the two layers are held together and one isn't longer than the other. So now we're going to turn back one edge at 0.7 and machine it down. Going to do the same on the other side. Turn it so both turn back are facing each other. And now we're going to fold over about just over a centimetre to make the channel. That's where the elastic or the cord or whatever you're going to use to tie the mask onto your face. do the other side. Now there's the mask, there's the two channels, and take a safety pin, if you have some elastic it needs to be narrow so it goes comfortably around the ears. Just poke it through the safety pin and thread it through your channel. Then you need to leave enough elastic so that you can tie it so it can be, if you do it in a loose knot, then it can be adjusted so it's comfortable for the wearer. So just nice loose knot, and it can be adjusted to whoever's wearing it. If you don't have elastic, you may have some ribbon. It's the same thing. It's got to be quite narrow so that it sits comfortably around the ears. And the same thing again, you have to thread it through with a safety pin through the channel and then measure it on the person who's going to wear it so that you've got enough ribbon to do a loose knot again and it's comfortable for the wearer. So loose knot so that they can wear it comfortably. Now if you don't have ribbon, you don't have elastic, you could use string, you could use a shoelace. I'm sure you can find something in the house that you could use. Here's your finished mask with the elastic, or you can have whatever you have